Today I'm here with the second book review of the month, and that book is going to be Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. If you do not know who Morgan Matson is, she wrote this lovely gem right here. All-time favorite contemporary books, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. Love it. It's a very light, funny, travel-y type of read. This one, on the other hand, is quite different. Not saying that it's like not amazing, but it is sad, and it is sad, and it is sad. Things first, the first thing I'm going to do is read you the book jacket, and we will talk about it a little bit more. Sandwiched between two exceptional siblings, Taylor Edwards never felt like she stood out except for her history of running away when things get too complicated. Her dad receives unexpected, terrible news, and the family makes the last-minute decision to spend the summer together in cramped quarters at their old lake house. Taylor hasn't been to the summer house since she was 12, and she definitely never planned on going back. Up at the lake, she is confronted with people she thought she left behind, like her former best friend Lucy and what the heck? And Henry Crosby, not Bing Crosby, her first crush, who's all grown up and a lot cuter, wink. That's not in the description, but if you did, by the way. Suddenly, Taylor's surrounded by memories she'd rather leave in the past, but she can't run away this time. As the days lying on the beach pass into nights gazing at the stars, Taylor realizes that she has a second chance, with friends, with family, with maybe even love. But once she knows that the summer ends, there's no way to recapture what she stands to lose. Overall, I love this book. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a lot of character development, a lot of family stuff that I loved reading about. And I will recommend, I'm not going to spoil too much of it. I think the spoilers, I will say, are going to be quite obvious, so I wouldn't say they're like insanely spoilers, but you know, if you haven't read the book, maybe not watch this, you know, I think if you do watch this, you're not going to be spoiled by too much per se, but I mean, it's like you know what's going to happen already. You can tell by the book jacket that you know things, but you know, just throwing it out there. So if you watch this, like say, you read the book for me, I am forewarning you right now. So yeah, let's talk about the characters. Now in life, I get asked the question, what character reminds you, have you read a book that reminds you the most of you? Have you read a book that a character reminds you most of yourself? And honestly, up until now, I've never had an answer for that, because I've never read a book that has really fully, like, not embodied me, but I haven't read a character that has says that, wow, that's kind of like me. This is the one book that has actually done it for me, surprisingly. I didn't think it would. I'm not saying I'm anything like this character. I feel like there's a lot of similarities between me and her, though, and I'll explain more. But yeah, I feel like me and Taylor Edwards, like, we get each other. Like, I understand her when I read her. I feel her. Basically, this whole book is told through Taylor's perspective. She is the middle child between her brother, which is a huge nerd. Like, he is smart, he is going to a freaking Ivy League, like he is good to go. And then her younger sister, who is very talented with ballerinas. She can do all this kind of stuff, you know. I'm not a ballerina. Taylor feels like she is sort of the middleman, quite literally, because she's the middle child. But I love Taylor. I love seeing through her eyes. I can understand how some people might like find her annoying, might find her like grow up, but you know what, throughout this whole deal you learn that Taylor's dad has cancer, and cancer is a terrible thing. And I don't read many cancer books because I have a very personal experience with cancer. I've talked about this once before. I shall talk about it again, I guess, because I feel more open to it. Back a long time ago, when I was the ripe age of 15, I am 24 now, FYI, about to turn 25 next month. My younger brother, who was 11 at the time, got liver cancer. I'm sure it was some sort of vast, super long name that I can't even pronounce. And that was a real shell shocker for me and my family, and it was very tough for me going through it, like super tough. And that has really been the one moment in my life where I have said that has shaped who I am today. And I know what you guys are saying, like, you may think like, you didn't have cancer, you didn't go through all this stuff. You know what though, I know I didn't get the cancer. I didn't go through, my brother did, and by the way, he's totally fine now, he's happy and healthy. Seeing someone go through cancer when you are that literally close to them, like if it's your younger brother, or if it's your mom, if you, like, that is a big deal. And not only that, but if you're young, that is a huge deal. I was 15, I was a sophomore in high school, and quite literally that was the worst year of my life. A lot of things happened. I grew up super fast. I had to grow up really fast. I hate just all I'm going to say. I had to grow up. I had to come to terms. I think it's just a really tough thing. It was a tough thing for me and my family, and it just has been the one moment that's defined my whole life. And I hate reading. I do not like reading books about cancer at all, hence why I've not read The Fault in Our Stars, because I know it's sad and I just don't like reliving that. When I read cancer books, I feel like I'm back at that moment when I was 15, when I literally didn't care about anything at all. Like, I just didn't care, and that was because of my brother, and I just didn't even want to deal with high school, didn't even want to deal with anything. Like, I just did not care, and yeah, it was a tough time in my life. I'm super glad me and my family are through it now. I'm glad my brother's healthy, but it's just, I understand. That's how I understand Taylor. No, there is no right way to go through this experience. There's no right way when someone dies. You can't say grieve this way. You can't say act this way during this time. Every person has to mold it and shape it in themselves. And I did not mean for this to get a super serious talk, and I apologize, but I just want you guys to see where I'm coming from through all this, like why I'm going into this liking Taylor. And I think a lot of people will like Taylor, honestly, but I like Taylor. I like seeing through her eyes. There were a couple things I was like not so happy about. You learn about Taylor, you learn that she has come back to this place, I forgot the name, Summer, and she was once there when she was 12. This has been quite a gap. I think she's now 17, or about to turn 17. And, she meets Henry, and she's been in a relationship with Henry before, and that kind of fell off, and her best friend kind of fell off. What the one thing I didn't like about this book, because I felt like they were making a huge deal out of this when they were only 12 years old, like the first boyfriend thing, the first friend thing. I was like, you were 12. I literally cannot remember anything from when I was 12. Ask me what my teachers were, no clue. Ask me, I don't even know what grade was I in? I was in 7th grade. I don't remember anything. Like, that was kind of like I was like, they're making this out to a huge, awkward deal. Honestly, right now, if something happened like that, like my first boyfriend happened to me when I was 12, I'd be like, hey, we good? That was like a long time ago. We were 12. I'm pretty sure they'll say, yeah, it's all good. That's the only thing I was just like, Other than that, I really like seeing Taylor blossom. Seeing Taylor's relationship with her dad was amazing. I loved her dad. Oh my gosh, the way he would say, what's the news, kids? And what's the news, kid? And he would, he would take her out to breakfasts, and they would talk about his life, and it was just phenomenal. And seeing the family through this, it's just they came closer together, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful book. And I'm sure, I'm happy to say this, not so happy, but all these questions I get about does a book make you cry? What book has made you cry? Well, guys, this book right here was the first book ever that has made me cry. Now, it didn't do sobbing tears, but I definitely cried through this book. And I cried on the tail end, of course, when the father dies. I'm sure you guys will know that. I mean, that's not giving too much away. And the way he died, just thinking about it makes me want to cry. It was very, very touching. It was very, very sad, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And it was very sad. It was a very sad book. And this made me come to realize that a ton of people go through this cancer thing, this sucky cancer thing. I'm sure viewers right there right now, you may have cancer. You may have someone that you know have cancer. You may have someone in your family that's had cancer or have it right now. Just know that there's no right way to get through it. And I hope what I say, I've given you words of advice, encouragement, that, it's going to be a tough part of your life no matter what, and you know what, you're strong for going through it. No matter how you get through it, you are a strong person. I also really love Taylor and Edward's, second chance at love. I thought that was a very cute storyline. I didn't feel like it dominated over the story. I felt like it was a good, mixture between. I loved Henry as a character. I thought he was good. He was just your typical all-American boy, honestly, and I love reading about those. And I also loved reading about Lucy. I love that Lucy came back into the picture, and things were rocky at first. I understand that, the whole 12 thing, but then I don't understand it. But I loved reading about that, and I loved reading about Taylor reconnecting with her family, and then her mom, and then her eventually dad, and her dad was just so, Overall, I really enjoyed this book, honestly, I'm gonna have fond memories when I think of it, because ultimately it's the first book that's ever made me cry, and because, it's refreshing to read books with cancer. Overall, I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5. I would give it a 5 out of 5, but that whole 12 thing kind of and I did feel like there was a little tiny bit too much love, but overall, I really loved the whole family scape of it, like the whole family dynamic and Taylor's dad, phenomenal. So I'd say if you want a little bit closer look into what it's like to be dealing with a family member that has cancer, I would definitely say pick up this book. I think it hits the nail on the head. I think the ending. Oh, the ending. I adored the ending with the envelopes and just That made me cry right there in itself, honestly. I definitely recommend it. Morgan Matson, you have not disappointed me, but you haven't made me cry. Congratulations to the first author that's done it. And yeah, after reading this, I feel more comfortable going into Fault in Our Stars, but quite honestly, I'm probably going to read that on the Snake because I don't want to feel pressured into it, honestly. But yeah, I'd say definitely recommend this book, you know, but be prepared to cry. It's not your typical summer book, it's your sad family drama book, but a really good one. That's all from me, guys. Sorry for this insanely long book review, and I hope you learned a little bit more about me and why I am the way I am, and hopefully you'll pick up the book. Have a great rest of your week. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.